Hi again, my name is Fabrice and you're welcome to FabWebTuts. Alright, so today I'm just going to be teaching you about spacing and measurement units. Okay, but before we do that, I'm just going to give you a summary of what we did the other day. So what we did was that I showed you how to add CSS to HTML. I showed you the external style, the internal style, and the inline style. Okay, alright, so today I'm just going to teach you how to do measurement in your document and then how to also give space in your work. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to do now is just to remove this so that our CSS code is going to be applied. So when I refresh, you can see our CSS code is applied. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna go ahead and move to the CSS code. Remember, we are using the external method of adding style sheets to HTML. Alright, so right now what I'm gonna do is to just talk briefly about measurement units. So what are measurement units? Now, measurement units are units that you use for measurement in CSS. Okay, so we have so many of them, but I'm going to discuss about 5 of them actually. Alright, so we have the percent. Now let me show you how to measure using the percent. Alright, say for instance you want to add the height of this background, that's the background to H1 element. This is what you're gonna do. Let me just drop this line. So let's say height, then you're just gonna say, let me just give it 80% like this. Then we're going to end with a semicolon. Let me just save it and then refresh. You can see now the background is increased to 80% of the screen. Now if I reduce the browser, the background is going to be reduced depending on the size of the browsing window. So now let me just go ahead and reduce. You can see now the background is reduced as well. It's taking up 80% of the screen. Okay, alright, so the next unit of measurement we're going to talk about is the centimeter, that's cm. Now say you want to increase this height again, say you want to use 80 centimeter. Now let me just go ahead and remove the percent, then write cm like so, then save. Now if you refresh, it's just gonna increase the height of the background up to 80 centimeter. You can see now a scroll bar has been added to the browser. So let me just scroll. It is now 80 centimeter. Now the next unit of measurement is millimeters. So you can just go ahead and remove centimeter and then you write mm, that's millimeters. So let me just save this and then I'm just gonna go ahead and refresh. You can see now 80 millimeter, that's the distance from here to this spot right here is 80 millimeters. Alright, so the next unit of measurement we can use also to measure in CSS is pixel. We can use pixel to measure. Actually, let me remove this. So the unit of pixel is just px like that. Alright, so let me just go ahead and save this and then I'm gonna refresh. 80 pixel. Alright, so what's a pixel? Now a pixel is just a very tiny picture element. So like the screen of your computer right now is made up of many tiny pixels. So when you specify measurement using pixel, you are trying to say, okay, measure or count 80 pixels. Like in the case of this one now, you are telling the computer to count 80 pixels vertically. Okay, so that's it. Now the next unit of measurement I'm going to discuss about is the inches. So you can also specify measurement units using inches. So the short form of inches in CSS is in, like this. That's 80 inches. Now let me refresh. When you refresh now, you can see the style has been applied 80 inches. Now let me just scroll. You can see it means this page is 80 inches long. Alright, so that's it about units of measurement. That's measurement unit. Now what I'm going to teach you is about spacing, how to give space. You can see how this text is very close to the edge of this background. So right now you can just add space. You can make it to, you know, move away from the edge of the background. So to do that, let me just undo this. Actually, let me remove this. I don't need it anymore. So let me save and then let's refresh. Okay, so right now to add a space, we can use this property called padding. All right, that's it on the screen, padding. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say 20 pixel. Okay, so padding 20 pixel. Then I'm gonna save this, then refresh. You can see now there's a bit of space. All right, so when you state the padding in this form, that's padding 20 pixel, what it does is that it gives the padding to the left 20 pixel, to the top 20 pixel, to the right 20 pixel, and at the bottom 20 pixels. So it's just gonna give 20 pixel all around. All right, but if you don't want it this way, you can actually specify the pad that you want the padding to be applied. Right now I can just go ahead and modify this by adding top, that's padding top. Let me save this and then refresh. You can see the padding is only applied to the top. Okay, you can do the same by saying bottom, sorry, like this. What the hell, like this. Okay, you refresh here, you can see the padding is at the bottom. Okay, you can also do the same thing, say left, like this. Then you now refresh, you can see the padding is applied to the left. The same thing here, you can change it and say padding right, like this. Then I'm gonna refresh, you can see the padding is applied to the right. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to teach you about padding is the shorthand for padding. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and specify. So when you say padding like this and you say 20 pixels, it's just going to apply padding left, right, top, and bottom, like that. That's 20 pixel padding. But right now, look at what I'm gonna do. Let me just say padding 20 pixel. I'm just gonna give space, then write 10 pixel, 40 pixel, and 50 pixel, like this. Then let me save this and refresh. You can see the padding is applied. You can see the padding is not uniform, because what you are saying now is that from the top, that's from here to here, now it should be 20 pixel. The next one is this side, that's by the right side, it should be 10 pixel, you can see. And then from the bottom, at the bottom it should be 40 pixel, and then by the left it should be what, 50 pixel. So that's what you are specifying. This is a shorthand. If you don't want to write padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right, if you don't want to do that, you can use this shorthand. Now there is this shorthand again. Let me remove this. If you just specify two padding, say 20 and say 70 pixel, like this. Let me save this and then refresh. Now what you are basically saying is that, okay, at the top and bottom it should be 20 pixel, then at the left and the right it should be what, 70 pixel. You can see left, right 70 pixel, and then top and bottom 20 pixel. Okay, so that's how to add space using padding. Okay, so actually let me leave this. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you how to add space using margin. All right, let me drop this line. All right, so what margin does is that it gives space just like padding. So right now let me just go ahead and show you what I mean. So let me say margin 10 pixel. So let me save this and then refresh. You can see now it's giving margin. That's the margin all round. From here to here is 10 pixel, from here to here is 10, from here to here is 10, and then from here to here is also 10. All right, so you can see the margin is a bit different from the padding. Now the margin is going to specify the distance from the element you are applying the margin to with the parent element. And from the CSS, you can see the heading 1 element is a child to the body element. So what it does is that it will give space, that's a bit of space from heading 1 element to the body, that's the body of the HTML element. Okay, so right now if you don't want to specify margin like this, you can actually specify it the same way you can specify padding. Let's say margin top, so you're just gonna apply it to the margin top like this. When you refresh, it's only the margin top that's going to pick. Okay, now if you do margin left, only the left is going to be applied. You can see now the margin is applied only to the left. Okay, now if you want to do that of right, let's say margin right like this, then refresh, you can see the margin is applied to the right. Then the same thing if you want to do for margin bottom like this, if you refresh, the margin is going to be applied to the bottom. And the reason why you cannot see it is because there is a bigger space here. All right, so right now if you want to use shorthand method for margin, you can just go ahead and remove this, then you write margin like that. Then the same thing with the padding. Let me just go ahead and say, so let's say we have 20 pixel, 60 pixel, 90 pixel like this. Actually we have an error. Let me add P here. You have to specify the unit. So let me save this and then refresh. You can see now the margin is applied. For the top should have 10 pixel, the right should have 20 pixel, bottom should have 60 pixel, and then left should have 90 pixel. So this is a shorthand method for adding margin. If you don't want to add margin top, margin bottom, margin right, and margin left, and whatever. So if you don't want to do that, just write margin. Then just know that the first one is for the top, the second one is for the right, the third one is for the bottom, and then the last one is for the left. Okay, so right now let me just use this method here. That's the shorthand method for only 2 values. So let me remove this, and let's say we have 50 pixel for top and bottom, and then 100 pixel for left and right. So let me save this and then let's refresh. You can see now. All right, so that's how to use padding and also margin to apply space to your work. That's your project, your HTML project. And also you have learned about the units of measurement in CSS. Okay, so with that, I'm just gonna draw the curtain for today. All right, so in the next tutorial, I'm just gonna be teaching you about applying color, how to apply color using the RGB and also the hexadecimal. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna see you in the next tutorial. Until then, peace out.